Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP Rogue Thief build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. Now the Rogue Thief is one of the most popular 3-level dips because of that extra bonus action, but I want to show you how to make the Rogue itself extremely powerful. Now we get ourselves sneak attacks. This is the main feature of the Rogue, as it allows you to get additional damage on a target you have advantage against, and this also applies if there's someone standing near your target. For our ability scores, we want to have our dexterity at 16. You can go 17, use the Hag's Hair on this if you want to go that route, but I won't be going. I'll just show you at level 16 here. Now for the rest of our abilities, we're going to want to have some Constitution for health. We're going to want to have some Wisdom, as we can throw in the Ranger to give a little bit extra synergy, so we'll take that to 14. Charisma 10, Intelligence we can take down a little bit. We can put the rest of the points into our Constitution there to have 16, 16. We can take down our charisma, put some points into strength. That's just going to change the amount of jump distance that we get, but we can also use strength potions if you really want to go that route. Now, I'll be showing you a few different builds of this and using different items, but I'll be going over the leveling guide here first. So at level 2, we get our bonus action, Hide, Dash, Disengage. So these are nice. Obviously, use them when you need to. Dashing around and getting extra movement speed is really nice. At level 3, we get the Rogue Thief here for the extra bonus action, so this is the staple of the subclass, getting ourselves the fast hands. The Rogue Thief is nice, because you can use offhand attacks to make your sneak attacks. Now for our feat, I think that Dual Wielder is actually a kind of cool one if you want to use two weapons that aren't light. Ability score improvements, another good choice, obviously. Getting an increase to our dexterity is huge. Alert for a +5 initiative is also really nice, because being able to go first means you can take out the enemy that's going to prevent your team from attacking. Now we get the Uncanny Dodge here, so this is actually really good. So you use lightning quick reflexes to protect yourself. When an attack hits you, you only take half the usual damage. So every other class gets a big power spike with their extra attack. For us, we take less damage, which is honestly pretty nice. So we're going to go with that there. At level 6 Rogue, we get to choose skills, but I think it's actually good to add in the Ranger, and we're going to go Gloomstalker Ranger, because this has a lot of synergy with our Rogue Thief. So for the favorite enemy, we're going to go, you can go Ranger Knight if you want to have heavy armor, although not super necessary. I do think Beast Tracker is kind of nice to get that extra fine familiar, but we can also go Wasteland Wanderer Fire to get fire resistance, which is really good to have, or cold resistance, or even poison resistance, but we're going to go with that there. And as for our skills, stealth if we can get it, but we already got that from the Rogue, so we'll just leave it as is. Now, adding in the Gloomstalker gives us some nice synergy, because it's more of a Ranger class, but once we get to that level 3, we get to choose some extra nice benefits here. So for our choice in spells, I think Fog Cloud works extremely well, because you can actually run into the Fog Cloud, use a bonus action to hide, and then you're covered. And also Hunter's Mark is really nice too, for additional damage on a target as a bonus action, so we'll go with both of those there. And then for our fighting style, it's good to go with archery, defense for a +1 armor class. We're going to use the ballast armor here, because this will just help further give us more damage. 2-weapon fighting is also a really good choice, so you can add your ability modifier to the damage. So we're going to go 2-weapon fighting, but defense is also a considerable choice. And I'm using the duelist prerogative, so you can go dueling with that weapon. Now, at level 3, we're taking the Gloomstalker. This gives us the Dread Ambusher, +3 to initiative, and our movement speed increases by 3 meters in the first turn of combat, and we make an additional attack that deals a 1d8 of damage. We also get Superior Dark Vision up to 24 meters. We get these, which you already have, but Umbral Shroud makes us invisible, which is kind of nice, and then we also have Disguise Self, so if you have any Get the Yankee items you want to use. Now, Long Strider's not a bad spell, but you can have someone at camp apply this to everyone. Hail of Thorns is also okay to use. You're not going to be using spells too often. If you are, it's going to be Fog Cloud, but we'll go with Long Strider just because the extra movement speed is really nice, and yeah, we'll go with that road there. The Gloomstalker adds a lot to this build, and we get ourselves our second feat. I think it's just best to increase our dexterity all the way up to 20. It just makes the most sense here. And then we get our extra attack finally. So this is why we need to add this in, because the Rogue itself doesn't get an extra attack, which kind of makes it a bit weaker. We also get Misty Step, bonus action teleport, which is huge. We get 2 level 2 spell slots, not a whole lot, but that's better than nothing. And we can take like Spike Growth for piercing damage to make difficult terrain. That's also a decent thing to have, just to be able to kind of crowd control a little bit. There's also Silence there, not the best spell, but it can be something. And then we can go with you can go level 7 in the Rogue, but I think it's actually good to go higher in the Ranger, in the Ranger, because we get some other options. Like we can go the Sanctified Stalker if you want to add radiant damage, not super useful, but Bounty Hunter will allow us to get advantage on Ensnaring Strike, which also isn't super useful. True Strike, terrible. Advantage on your next attack roll, not really good, but some people say it's actually nice to be able to sneak attack with that. But I guess we'll go this route and then take fire damage resistance or cold damage. There are items that can give fire damage resistance, so you can go with, I guess, poison or cold as well. But we're going to go this route here. And yeah, at final level, we get ourselves the subclass feature, Proficiency in Wisdom and Intelligence Saving Throws, which is not a bad thing to have. And then for our spells, we can go with Silence to silence and create immunity to damage. I also really like Pass Without Trace for +10 to stealth checks, which actually makes the Ranger a very nice addition to the Rogue. So, getting into the gear side of things, I'm using the Duelist Prerogative right now. That's not our best choice, but it does do piercing damage with additional necrotic damage and gives us a higher critical hit chance. Now, there's the Crimson Mischief. This is the best weapon in slot because it gives additional 7 piercing damage when we have advantage on our attacks, which is actually really good. So, you can go this route, and then in the offhand, we can add something like the Belm. The Belm gives us a bonus action attack that's equal to our main hand weapon, so that can actually be really good. While it says 11 to 16 damage, the bonus action will use the Crimson Mischief's damage, so that's really good. We also have the Mask of Soul Perception there, +2 to attack rolls, initiative rolls, and perception checks, although you can go with like the Circlet of Hunting if you want to use Hunter's Mark a bit more. Shadow of the Menzoberranzan is another option. I do think it's actually best to keep with the Mask of Soul Perception once you get it. Cloak of Protection, Evasive Shoes, Ring of Protection keeps our armor class at 22, which is pretty good. We also have the Killer Sweetheart for a free critical hit. And for the gloves, I think it's actually best to go with the Helldusk gloves because this will add additional fire damage to our attacks, making it upwards of 30 damage on the Crimson Mischief, which is really nice. If you don't have it, the Dark Justiciar's Gauntlets will add 1d4 necrotic damage, which is kind of nice too. But we'll go with that there. And then in the offhand, we want to have our Hellfire Hand Crossbow, which will inflict burning if we're hidden or invisible. And then the Fire Stoker, which deals additional damage to burning targets. These just go together really well. So what this looks like in combat is we want to try and get our sneak attacks off as much as possible. So stealthing is kind of the way to go here. So you can stealth and then sneak up and go. I guess we don't have advantage there. But whenever we sneak, we want to get that advantage off because it gives us extra damage. Now, we actually don't apply the Ballast Armor's Aura of Murder. I guess I didn't even mention that. But the Ballast Armor will double our piercing damage whenever we attack. And it gives a +2 to initiative. Now, this would have killed Will. Normally, you would have that double damage. It doesn't actually apply whenever you are attacking your teammates like I am right now. But I will show you what that looks like in a moment. So you can see 2 hits and we were able to take him out. So that's pretty good. But the beautiful thing about this is it can one-shot some enemies because you're going to give them the, it's going to give them the vulnerability to piercing damage. So basically what you want to be doing is trying to sneak attack as much as possible because the damage that you can get is pretty huge from that. Like we're taking people out with 2 sneak attacks. That's pretty good. We also have a Find Familiar, and you can use like the cat. So what's nice about the cat is you can summon in the cat and then have it go and meow, and that will draw people towards it. So you get it to meow and people get distracted, and then you can go ahead and do your sneak attacks while everyone's distracted. So that is pretty useful. I'm having a hard time getting that off, but there we go. Now, the reason I went with the Belm is because we get an extra bonus action attack, and we can use the Perfectly Balanced Strike to attack with that. So that's pretty good. And I guess we'll just stop taking out Jaheira there. She survived the last attack. So I guess I'll just show what it looks like if we're to start combat and get into an actual fight. Basically, you want to start with, like, Darkness actually works really well. So if you play as a Drow, you get a free cast of Darkness, which is awesome. And then with this, you can stealth really easily. Oh, we started combat that way. So basically, oh, he ran away. That sucks. Basically, what we want to do in combat is we want to try and sneak our way to a target, and then we can use our advantage to be able to get an attack off from that. So I guess I don't even have a main hand attack, and I'm blinded. I should have put on something like the Steel Watcher helm, makes you so you can't get blinded. and I blinded myself in here. So you can kind of sneak around here, and then I lost my bonus action sneak. But basically what you want to be doing is attacking with like your offhand attacks as much as possible. So we got this the offhand attack here. But what's cool is we have our perfectly balanced strike from the Belm. So this gives us an attack that's going to hit pretty hard. Yeah, we got ability to drain strength off there. We also have our Dread Ambusher attacks. So he's healing himself, so we won't be able to take him out. But we get ourselves 3 attacks from bonus actions in the main turn, and then 2 attacks from our main hand. So that's 5 attacks. That's pretty good. I guess everyone else is down. We'll just skip their turns. And we'll see what happens here. But the nice thing about this this build is the fact that you can deal like a good amount of damage from just... Oh, Scratch is going to fight us. This sucks. He got his thing there. But I was trying to fight the Duke Ravengard, and that didn't work out for us. But basically what we want to be doing when we're in combat is using that perfectly balanced strike, trying to do as many sneak attacks as possible. Wow, she put him to sleep. Nice. So we're back to our turn. We can even go with the Pass Without Trace, but basically what we're going to be doing is just main hand attacks. To start off, you can apply like some oils and things like that, but with our main hand attack, we get a good amount of damage from the piercing there, and then we can attack with the offhand attack twice. So that's 4 attacks. You can also go with the perfectly balanced strike. I would recommend doing a perfectly balanced strike to start, but that is pretty much it in a nutshell, what you want to be doing whenever you're going with this rogue thief build. Darkness is good, but don't make the mistake that I did at the start of combat there. But yeah, that is it for a rogue thief build in Baldur's Gate 3. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.